Alrighty, so sorry I didn't talk right there. I felt like I did not need to talk during that intro sequence just because I thought I would ruin how beautiful it is. Anyways, guys, this is Joseph from Nerds and Matrimony, and I would like to welcome you to Let's Play the epic masterpiece that is Shadow of the Colossus. I love this game. This is definitely one of my favorite games ever. I would definitely put it in my top 20. Now, as you can see here, I have an option on the menu to play a new game on hard mode. I debated on that. I decided not to. In order to unlock hard mode, you actually have to beat the game on normal mode one time. I decided not to do hard mode because these videos are going to be long enough already, as you're going to see. This first one's going to be significantly longer just because it includes the intro. The intro to this game is pretty lengthy. But yeah, I decided not to play in hard mode just because it's going to make the videos that much longer, and they're already going to be long enough already. Now, when we actually get into the gameplay, I'll explain what hard mode actually does. But yes, this is Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know how many of you have heard of this game. It is a fairly popular game. Now, I will warn you, if you are a casual gamer, if you are a gamer that likes happy games and everything's all sunshine and rainbows, you probably should not play this game, and you probably shouldn't watch this Let's Play. I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a happy game. This is a very sad game. It's a very dark game. It's a very different game, which is why I think so many people like it. It's not your typical woohoo, you save the day, everything's great type of game. So, let me actually talk about the game. So, the guy that is riding the horse, that is your main protagonist. That is a character you're going to be controlling throughout the game. His name is Wander. And the horse he is riding on, the horse's name is Aggro. And Wander and Aggro have a very special bond, as you're going to see throughout the game. And you are going to become attached to Aggro. Now, you may have noticed this, but there is actually a body in a cloth that is sitting on the horse with Wander. Yes, that is a dead person. We're going to find out who that is here in a minute. So yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, just look at this. Look at this game. Keep in mind, this was originally released on the PlayStation 2. I'm playing this in the PlayStation 3, so it is enhanced a little bit in the graphics, but oh my gosh, this game is gorgeous. So we're going to, basically, the plot of the game is going to be revealed to us right here, and I'll kind of explain it when we actually gain control of the character and we actually start playing. But I'm super excited for this game. Like I said, this is one of my favorite games of all time. And it's a game that makes you feel very isolated. Because you're in this vast, humongous world, and you're going to find out we're pretty much the only inhabitants. Just us and our horse. That's pretty much it. This game makes you feel very much alone. And when you start getting into the gameplay, when you actually see what we have to do, you're going to see that you might get a big sense of being overwhelmed. I'm going to quote Nintendo Capri Sun on this. I'm just going to tell you guys now, this game redefines the word big. And you're going to see what I mean when we get into our first boss fight. Because basically this game is just essentially 16 boss fights. That's really all it is, as you're going to see. So as you can see, the body that was on the horse is actually a girl. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to who this girl is. And as you're going to see right here, just on a quick side note, all of the dialogue in this game is in Japanese. They do have English subtitles, as you can see, but all of the dialogue is done in Japanese. And I actually like that. I think it adds to the game. I think it adds to the whole fantasy mystery part of the game. But yeah, there's a lot in this game that's left up to player speculation. A lot of people have speculated who that girl is. Some say that, you know, it's just a girl that Wander was in love with, and they were just friends. Some say that, you know, they were actually in a relationship. Some people say that that girl may actually be related to Wander, like maybe she's his sister. No one really knows. What we do know is that Wander does have feelings for this girl in some form or another. He does love her in some way. But basically, as we're going to find out, she had a cursed fate, and she was sacrificed. So she is dead. And Wander is not a big fan of that, so he wants to bring her back. So basically, he heard of this forbidden land at the end of the world where this being exists that could control the souls of the dead. So he's gonna kind of make a deal with the devil here, in order to bring her soul back. And pay close attention to the dialogue here, folks. Pay close attention to it, because there's going to be some parts in this dialogue that are going to come back later in the game. Well, what I mean by that is it's going to become important later in the game. What is said here between Wander and Dorman is going to become important later on in the game in the plot. So Wander basically has this sword called the Ancient Sword, and it's a mystical, powerful sword of awesomeness. He actually stole it, spoiler alert, and he is trespassing on this forbidden land to, as I said, revive the soul of this girl that he loves. One thing I will say about this game also is that this game is one of those games that you're going to question yourself in this game quite a bit. I'm just going to let you know that now. If you have not played this game before, just believe me, this game is going to make you feel a mixture of emotions. Yeah, I can't really describe it. It's one of those things that you kind of have to experience on your own. But this game will definitely make you feel a mixture of emotions when you play it. Now pay attention to this dialogue. Notice how he says, "We are the one known as Dorman." Log that in the back of your head. That's going to become important later. By the way, there's not a whole lot of cutscenes in this game, as you're going to see, which I think is kind of nice. It kind of keeps the game flowing. This is a very simple game in terms of concept and gameplay, but it is a very deep game. I'm only going to explain the controls to this game in this video because they're pretty much not going to change throughout the rest of the game. Alright, so Dorman here, that is the name of the deity that controls the souls of the dead. He is going to give us a task. Basically, he has lost his power, and in order to restore his power, we have to destroy these statues, these idols as he calls them, that are in this temple. This temple is called the Shrine of Worship, by the way. It kind of acts as a central location in this giant world. So basically, in order to restore his power, we have to destroy these idols. However, we cannot destroy them ourselves. But, however, we can destroy them by doing something else. Because as Dorman is going to explain right here, there are these giant beasts known as Colossi throughout this land that represent these idols. If we go out and destroy each Colossus, then the idol that corresponds to that Colossus will crumble. And there are 16 of these in the game. So again, like I said, this game is essentially 16 boss fights. And believe me, when I say giant beast, that is a vast understatement. Just wait until you see how big the first one is. And keep in mind, he's not the biggest one in the game. Now pay attention to this dialogue right here, folks. The price you pay may be heavy indeed. Log that away in the back of your memory as well for the later part of the game, for the end game. So, we know what we are supposed to do now. We have our task, we have our goal, now it's time to set out. By the way, the world in this game is absolutely gorgeous. I know I've said this already, but I'm probably going to say it quite a bit. Not only is it amazing to look at, but it's a very diverse landscape, as you're going to see. There are a lot of different landscapes in this world. We're going to be going through grasslands, plains, deserts, valleys, mountains, cliffs, canyons, lakes, rivers, forest, all sorts of things. Alrighty, so now we finally gain control. The controls in this game are pretty simple. I'm going to kind of get used to them right here. You push triangle to jump. You push the X button to call your horse. You can also use the X button to whistle. You push square to attack. You push left and right on the D-pad to change your weapon. You only have 2 weapons. All you have are a sword and a bow. Well, and then you have your hands. You push the circle button to perform an action. With your sword, when you hold circle when you're in sunlight, you will see this ray of light come out of your sword, and you'll see it when we get out here in the field. But basically, the rays of light will point you into the direction of the next Colossus. So when you're facing where the Colossus is, all of the rays of light will kind of gather in one spot. That means you're heading in the right direction. When they all spread out, that means you're heading in the wrong direction. As far as your hands go, if you push circle, you will use that to pick things up. So on the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see, well, you can't see it now, but you have a health bar, and then you have a stamina wheel. There they are. So the red bar is your health bar. It will increase slightly every time you defeat a Colossus. The pink circle is known as your grip meter. Basically, you hold down R1 to hold on to things. Use this to climb and to hold on to ledges. And as you're holding on, your grip meter will slowly decrease. When it is completely empty, you will no longer have any grip, and you will fall off what you are holding on to. Your grip meter will increase slightly every time you defeat a Colossus as well. So as you can see, this is the world map. There are a whole bunch of clouds over it. Basically, the map will fill up as you go throughout each location. Now, there are other ways to increase your health and your grip in the game, and I'm going to increase my health a little bit right now. So I stopped at this tree because there is some fruit on this tree. You will encounter these throughout the game. Keep an eye out for them. They're usually pretty easy to spot. They're usually really big and kind of stand out. Now, usually there are multiple pieces of fruit on this tree, but I can only find the one here. And as you can see, I'm struggling picking up this piece of fruit because I forgot what button you use to pick up the fruit. And all you have to do is switch to your hands and push circle. But yeah, I only found one piece of fruit. But basically, you want to keep an eye out for these fruit trees throughout the world. You can shoot the fruit down with your bow, and you can then pick it up and eat it, and it will slightly increase your health bar. Now, in order to increase your stamina, other than defeating Colossi, you're going to want to keep out for these little lizards throughout the game that have these shining, glowing tails. They are pretty hard to find. I'm not really going to go out of my way to find any. If I come across one, I'll try to get it, but they are really hard to get. Once you find one, you want to try to kill it as soon as you can. They are really fast, and they can disappear very quickly. But once you kill it, you go collect its tail, and that will slightly raise your grip meter. Most of the glowing tail lizards can be found next to these shrines throughout the world that act as save points. Most of the time, you'll find a lizard around one of those. But as for, like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way to get all the fruit trees and get all the lizards in the game. If I come across one, on my travels, I'll stop and get it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to find them. Now, the controls in this game can take a little bit of getting used to. The main thing you're going to have to get used to is controlling the camera. The Y-axis is inverted, so pushing up makes the camera go down, pushing down makes the camera go up. As far as the X-axis goes, it's a little hard to explain. The camera kind of goes in a circular motion around Wonder, and it can take a little bit of getting used to control the camera in this game. Riding the horse can also take a little bit of getting used to, because when you are on aggro, you have to push the X button to make him go faster. However, you can't just spam the X button. It's more of a timing thing. You have to learn when to push the X button at the right time. And that can take some getting used to. So as you can see, I gave up on trying to find any other fruits, so we're going to go ahead and head over to the first Colossus. Now we're going to come across our first little platforming section in this game. It's going to explain how to use the grip meter, how to roll, how to climb up stuff. and all of that. I'm not really going to explain the controls because you're going to see them on the screen. So yeah, as you can also see, the camera in this game is a cinematic camera. It's not directly behind you all the time, especially when you're riding a horse. I actually like that. I think it kind of adds to the game a little bit. But yes, this is the area where we're going to take on our first Colossus of the game. So as you can see, there's some music playing that is telling us that we are in the right area. So we're going to climb to the top of this thing. So you want to come over here to this wall where all these vines are. You can jump up on it, hold down the R1 button, and you can climb it. My big tip for climbing things in this game, keep that R1 button held down until you are done climbing. Do not let go of it, because when you let go of it, you will let go of what you were holding on to. Keep that R1 button held down. Now there's going to be a section up at the top of this thing where you're going to have to execute, I call it a grab jump. You'll see what I mean. But it is crucial that you hold on to the R1 button when you execute a grab jump. Excuse me. But yeah, this game is absolutely amazing. So here we have to execute a dive roll. You just press R1 and triangle at the same time. It's pretty easy. Okay, so up here is where we have to execute the grab jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb onto this pillar that's right here that I'm going for. And we're going to shimmy our way around the outside of it. So when we get to the other side here, you can see there is a gap to the next platform. So basically here, you have to hold R1 down, and then hold the direction that you want to jump, and then push triangle. Now make sure you keep that R1 button held down even when you jump, because if you don't, you're going to have to time when you grab the ledge. If you just hold on to the button, then you'll grab the ledge automatically. So here is our first Colossus, and remember when I said this game redefines the word big? Yeah. Keep in mind, folks, this is not the biggest one in the game. Now, not all of them are huge. There are a few that are pretty small, but the small ones are pretty aggressive. So, there are multiple ways to go about fighting this guy in order to get the attention of a Colossus, because as you're going to find out, most of the time in the game, the Colossus don't even know you're there, or the Colossi don't even know you're there. So, if you want to get their attention, you can either shoot them with an arrow, or you can whistle with the X button. So now I have his attention. So he's going to take a giant swing at me with his hammer. Now it looks like he's swinging pretty slow. Believe me, when he brings that hammer down, he brings it down pretty fast. Jumping and rolling is a great way to get out of the way. You may still take a little bit of damage, but you won't take full damage. So what we want to do this guy is we want to get to the top of him. We want to get up to his head, because that is where his weak spot is. Each Colossus in the game has what are called vital signs, or vitals. They're basically these glyphs that are on them. This guy only has one, and it's on his head. So we want to get to the glyph and basically just stab it repeatedly to kill him. Now I have no idea why I was having so much trouble with this guy. Believe me, I'm not bad at this game. I don't know why I was having so much trouble with the first Colossus. I have no idea. Maybe it's the Let's Play curse. I was recording, so of course I'm going to do more and more of the game. But yeah, basically what you want to do with this guy is you want to get on the back of his leg. You can see, you saw there was some fur there. You want to climb on that fur, and there's a little black spot on the back of his leg. You want to crouch down by holding R1, and then you want to stab that little mark. This is not a glyph, but it is what these are known as trigger points. When you stab a trigger point, it will cause the Colossus to do something. So when we stab him on the back of the leg here, he's actually going to kneel down, and that's going to let us climb. That will allow us to climb up onto his butt. And I had a lot of trouble here climbing up onto his butt, because Wanderer kept grabbing onto the ledge on his knee, or on his thigh, and the guy kept walking, and I could not climb up onto his butt. I have no idea why I was having so much trouble with this. But yeah, in order to stab, basically you crouch down, you hold down square, and this little circle will build up in your stamina, or in your grit meter. Basically you push square again, and you will stab the Colossus. And the strength of your stab and the damage you deal depends on how large the circle is when you execute the stab. Sometimes it's better to go for smaller stabs, sometimes you can get a big stab off, because as you're going to see, Wander has ragdoll physics, and when these Colossi shake, he goes all over the place. Now, quick pro tip, each glyph that is on the Colossus actually has what is called a sweet spot. And if you can get on that sweet spot, basically when the Colossus tries to shake, you will not move. That is going to be one thing you're going to find out about this game very quickly, is that Wander will just fly all over the place at the slightest movement. It can get pretty annoying, but whatever. And as you're hearing, the music when you fight each Colossi or each Colossus in this game is so freaking epic. It really just kind of adds the whole intensity of it. So yeah. Now I'm going to take this time to kind of explain hard mode. Like I said, there's only one glyph on this guy, and it's on the top of his head. If you play this game on hard mode, each Colossus in the game will have one extra glyph. By the way, crouching will increase your grip meter or refill your grip meter a lot quicker. But yes, each Colossi, if you play on hard mode, each one will have an extra glyph. And not every Colossus in the game just has one glyph on normal, as you're going to see. In fact, I think the next one we fight actually has 2 on normal mode. So on hard mode, he would have 3. So yeah, on hard mode, each Colossus has an extra glyph. And they're also a lot more aggressive, and they deal a lot more damage. So yeah, that's why I'm not playing on hard mode. It's going to take me long enough to beat these guys as is, especially if I'm having this much trouble with the first one. So yeah, I did not want to make these videos any longer than what they needed to be. And again, guys, I'm not this bad at this game, I swear. I don't know why I was having so much trouble with this guy. I don't even know. It's been a while since I played this game. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea. Anyways, so I finally got onto his butt right here. So basically we want to get up onto this platform here. We can actually crouch on this platform and refill our stamina. Again, we just want to climb to the top of this guy and get on his head, because that is where the glyph is. So each Colossus in this game, it is a boss fight, but it's also kind of like a puzzle, because you have to figure out how to get onto the Colossus, and you know, how to go about climbing it and finding all the glyphs. So each boss fight in the game kind of also acts as a puzzle as well. So as you can see, he is not happy with us being on his back, so he's going to start flailing around here. And I think I actually found the sweet spot in this glyph, because as you're going to see, he's going to start shaking, and Wander does not move at all. So I think I actually got really lucky here and found the sweet spot in this glyph. But here's the glyph. Basically, you just want to keep stabbing it and stabbing it until he dies. And there we go. We have taken down the first Colossus of the game. By the way, I don't exactly remember the name of this guy. I think it's either Taurus or Talus. His name will be on the title of the video, but I don't remember exactly what it is. They don't tell you the names in the game, by the way. So I did defeat each Colossus. The shadow of them will come out, and it'll attack Wander and run. Oh my gosh, it's so violent. That's the kind of stuff that just makes you squirm. And yes, you have to witness that after every Colossus fight. So yes, the shadow of the Colossus, if you will, basically gets absorbed into Wander. So yeah. So as you can see in my first file, it says 0 defeated. That's actually because that started the new game on hard mode. So yeah. So after you defeat this Colossus, you will magically end up back at the Shrine of Worship. We're going to figure out how that happens later in the game. And yeah, after you defeat each one, you'll see the shadowy figures staring at Wander. The more you defeat, the more shadowy figures will be standing around him. So yeah, we did it. We beat the first Colossus of the game. By the way, another thing I haven't mentioned, after you defeat a Colossus, you can actually go back to its corpse. Because after you defeat a Colossus, you're going to see that there will be a beam of light that'll shine up from its corpse, and you can pretty much see it throughout the entire world. So if you go back to a dead Colossus corpse, you can actually do what's called time attack mode. Well, it will actually give you a certain time to actually defeat the Colossus. And you can actually get different rewards for doing this. You can get different weapons in the game. You can actually get different maps that will show you where like all the fruit trees are. You can get a map that will show you where all the shrines are. Different things like that. There is a time attack on hard mode as well. Basically the time is significantly lower. Alrighty, so thy next foe is the Undertaker! No. So after you defeat Colossus, Dorman will give you a hint as to where the next one is. So this one is in a seaside cave. So that is it for this episode. Once again, it's going to be a bit longer than the other ones because it includes the intro and because I had so much trouble with the first Colossus. I have no idea why. So anyways, guys, I'm excited for this game. I love this game. I will see you next time for more Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus. Goodbye.